And welcome back to Electric Bike Mark. On this video I'm going to be riding the King Bull Hunter 2.0S, as you see it right there. This is a 48 volt 750 watt motor, 48 volt 18 amp hour battery. And what I want to talk about today is a question: is the e-bike boom over? Older riders are abandoning the trails. Contrary to the idea of a decline, the e-bike boom is actively expanding, with older riders currently being the fastest growing demographic. When I say older riders, I'm talking 50 plus years old. So we're not old. I'm included in this as I'm over 60. But the 50 plus, I'm saying older riders, we're not old, we're just older. Far from abandoning trails, many seniors are using the e-bike specifically to stay on these trails despite physical limitations like joint pain, heart issues, or reduced strength. While the post-pandemic surge in traditional bicycle sales has cooled, the e-bike market remains on a strong upward trajectory. The global e-bike market was valued at approximately $57.5 billion, that's with a B, dollars in 2025, and is projected to reach $65.8 billion in 2026. In the US, e-bike imports rose by 29% year on year in 2025. Experts predict sales will reach 4 to 7 million units annually by 2030. The industry is stabilizing after a period of oversupply, with a shift toward direct-to-consumer models and better battery motor interfaces. Rather than leaving, older riders are often the primary users of trail systems today. Among riders age 50 plus, e-bike ownership jumped from 3 to 29% over a 5-year period. Mobility and freedom. For many seniors, e-bikes are a necessity for mobility, allowing them to ride 35 to 50 plus miles into their 70s, distances they could no longer cover on traditional bikes. And I can tell you that there's people beyond their 70s. There's people that have commented on the videos that I've had on my channel, and they're in their 80s. So there's really no age limit as long as you are physically able to get to the bike and do a little bit of the handling of the bike, then you're probably fine. Trail demographics. On some trail systems, e-bike users already make up over 50% of visitors, and this demographic tends to be older on average. So let's hop on and talk a little bit more about this. I can tell you for a fact that on my channel, the majority of audience, like more than 50%, are age 55 plus. And 45 plus makes up over 70%. That's on my channel here of viewers. And e-bikes for this demographic, and the majority are in the US too, that watch the videos here. Canada is second. And I'm not totally surprised, because really the e-bike probably helps the older rider more than the younger rider, for the fact of it gives assistance. And you probably want to see the speed in this video, so I'm going to hop off quick and put my phone up here so you can see it, because this screen cannot be seen. It's very faint in the daylight. So let me bring up my app here. Okay, here we go. So you can actually see the speed I'm going. Tilt it down a bit so you can see it. So yeah, if if you're an older rider, you probably, like I did a long time ago, abandoned bicycles. I don't know why I stopped riding, but I did. And it wasn't until 2019 that I got my first e-bike. And wow, first of all, you think, why didn't I get one of these before, like earlier? I don't know how much earlier you could actually get them. I guess quite a bit earlier, but they weren't as popular as they are today. So, but I'm glad I did, because wow, it puts bicycling or cycling back on the map for a lot of people that could otherwise not do it. You'll be riding along and then you'll see a hill in front of you and you'll say, oh man, really? I can't go up that. But with the electric bike, the assistance of that motor, it's like night and day. When I first got on my first e-bike, which was the Rad Rover 4, first one I ever bought, I had never ridden one till I bought that bike. And right away, I felt like Superman. I mean, I thought, wow, this thing is really cool. I mean, I did not know what to expect exactly. But when I got on there and started riding it, I thought, wow, it makes it so much easier to ride. You know, you're still pumping your legs, you know, but you're getting that help from the motor. And it feels like, and it's true, feels like you can ride forever. You could probably outride, you know, without getting tired, the actual range of the battery, you know, what it can give you. And the only thing is, you do not want to run out of battery and have to pedal this thing home. Now, some e-bikes are heavier than others. This one, I believe, is 68 pounds, which is not a real heavy e-bike. It's somewhere around there, 68 or 70. I could be out by a few pounds, but pretty close. But some of the bikes, like the AIPAS M1 Max that I have, that weighs 90 pounds. So can you imagine trying to pedal that thing home if you run out of battery? I don't think so. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on your range there. After a while though, you get to know what your bike can do as far as range, and never ever ever go by what they tell you for range. Usually they tell you twice as much as you can probably get. Here's my thinking on the calculations or whatever on the battery range for me. If you're throttling only, you're probably going to get 1 amp hour per mile. It's going to be, or you might be able to get just a little bit more than 1. It depends, but I would figure on 1. So if you got, like in this case, I have an 18 amp hour battery here, I would suspect just throttling only, it doesn't matter if you're throttling hard or not, you're probably going to get 18 miles. And some people like to carry like a second battery, and that'll give them twice as much range, but I don't really find myself anymore really going that far that I really need a second battery. I mean, for most of us that are out there riding, especially if you're just riding leisure like I am, but even if you are riding to work or to the grocery store or what have you, for the most part, you're going to be fine with the single battery. And let's face it, batteries are not cheap. They're the most expensive single component on your bike. It's breezy out here. And it's warm. I'm out here like 8:30 in the morning on this video, and it's already 80 degrees. I'm out early because we're supposed to be getting a series for a long stretch here coming up. They're talking about thunderstorms, but I don't know. So I get some ride in now before the heavy thunderstorms start up. Let's get onto the little mini trail here. It's very short, but good morning. But yeah, e-bikes are awesome. You get on one, you're gonna love it. If you don't have one already, you're gonna want one after you try one. And just a warning, and I've said this countless times, but it's so true, they are addicting. It's not a bad addiction, it can be an expensive addiction though. But the thing is, when you get one, then you start to, because you don't know on your first one what exactly to buy for sure. So you're kind of just guessing. Like when I bought my Rad Rover 4, I was kind of just looking for the one that was, you know, had good ratings, a reputable company, and basically that's what I looked at, and I got the Rad Rover 4. But I gotta tell you that back then, it was a Black Friday 2019, November of 2019, that I got my first bike. Then I got the Aerial Rider Grizzly, and that was a completely, you know, a different category altogether. But anyway, there was a far few choices compared to now. Like these days, there's so many choices out there. And yeah, some of the companies are bigger name brands that you've heard of, just that they've either been out for a longer period of time or what have you. But don't discount all the newer companies. Just because they're new and you never heard of them doesn't mean they're not good. Because let's face it, every company has to start somewhere. And you can get yourself sometimes a pretty good deal on a newer brand that's out there, and basically it might have the exact same features, I mean almost literally the same bike, just a little different frame maybe, than a bigger name bike. So don't discount, I would say, the cheaper bike just because you think it's you know, a name you've never heard of. But when I did my first bike though, I mean, I didn't know exactly what to look for. I just started looking online. This is before I ever got the YouTube channel started. I started this YouTube channel on July 4th, 2022. So we're coming up on 4 years. But prior to that, I had my first bike, the Rad Rover 4. Then I got the Aerial Rider Grizzly in April of 2022. And just after I got the Grizzly, that's when I started my YouTube channel. But it was the version 2, by the way, of the Grizzly. But yeah, I would definitely look around. I mean, all you can do, it's tough when you buy a bike for the first time and you're not exactly sure what to look for. I mean, I would encourage you to watch videos of different reviews of bikes, and you get a pretty good idea. I mean, some reviewers or influencers on YouTube that review e-bikes, sometimes they only do a review on the bike and that's it. You never see the bike again. Whereas when I'm seeking out a bike, if I'm looking for a particular bike and I start zeroing in on one, I scour sometimes, you know, for as many videos as I can, because you have nothing else to go by other than the specs on the bike itself. And so I just start zeroing in on that particular brand. But sometimes they'll either do a quick edited video, you know, and I just want to get a real ride like I'm doing now. I just want to see somebody riding the bike for real and just riding it, like, and seeing what it looks like riding along, you know, and on the city streets or neighborhood streets or whatever. I just want to see what the bike looks like and what it can do, how quiet or how smooth it looks. But sometimes it's just a quick throw the review together and then that's it. You never see, it's not a bad thing, I guess, with the channels, but sometimes it's just like a one and done, and I want to see more, But maybe that's just me too. I don't know. I like to see several videos on something like that before I actually purchase it. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me hop off and show you the bike one more time. This is a really cool bike. It's the Hunter. This is the King Bull Hunter 2.0S. A little bit of upgrade that they did on it, including that battery. It's now 18 amp hour, which is really cool. You don't see 18 amp hours too much on a bike, especially a bike that's under $1,000, which this bike is. And I do have a link in the descriptions for this bike if you want to check it out. And there is a discount code in there as well. Save you even more money. And that's going to do it today for this video. I just wanted to get out there and talk about the boom that's going on now for senior riders, anyone 50 or over. You're right in the wheelhouse right now of e-bikers. You're going up, the numbers are going up a lot faster than any other demographic. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, just hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified as to when the next video comes up on the channel, just hit that notification bell. And if you want to leave a comment on this or any other videos that you've seen on the channel, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Once again, thank you for joining me on Electric Bike Mark. And until next time, be safe everyone, and keep your wheels on the road. See you later.